Sometimes, the things people pretend to give us, as favors, are not really acts of kindness. Sometimes, they are simply ways to lure you into slavery, destruction, and even death. This is the story of a man and the chickens. One day, in a distant village, a man sat in his small hut, hungry, tired, and frustrated. He had no idea on what to do, what to eat, or where his next meal would come from. For a great famine had struck the community, and nobody had enough food to spare. He scratched his empty stomach, and suddenly a loud growl came from within. As he sat there thinking of whether to go and beg, or find some other way to survive, he noticed a small chick passing through the nearby bushes. At first, he marveled and thanked God for bringing him food. Instinctively, he stood up and with the little strength he had left, chased after the chicken. He ran and ran, but the chick was too clever and always slipped away. Eventually, the chick ran into a large cage, filled with many other chickens, that belonged to the king, and had been raised under his care. The man was amazed, and quickly began thinking of a way to get hold of one. But the place was heavily guarded. Then an idea came to him. He went home and gathered the last grains of corn he had left. Returning to the cage, he began throwing the corn close to the edge of the enclosure. The chickens rushed toward the grains with joy. One of them exclaimed,
"Thank God. For more than a week now, our keeper has not fed us. God has sent us this man to deliver us."
Others agreed with excitement. But the leader of the flock spoke cautiously, saying, "I don't trust these humans. Are you sure this is safe?" He advised them not to eat the corn, lamenting on how dangerous it can be, but most of them refused to listen, and only a few agreed with him. The stubborn ones continued eating while the man slowly advanced, throwing the corn closer and closer to the outside. After some time, he threw a few grains outside the cage. Many of the chickens hesitated and refused to go outside the cage. But one of the chickens spoke up and said,
"This is our opportunity. We can finally eat properly. Why should we remain prisoners and die of hunger?"
He convinced another chicken to join him, and together the two stepped outside the cage and began eating the corn. Meanwhile, the man smiled secretly. In his heart, he rejoiced, knowing that he had found himself a proper meal. He threw even more corn on the ground. As the two chickens bent down to eat, one of them said,
"Opportunity truly comes only once. Imagine if you had remained inside that prison. Hunger would have killed you."
As they continued talking and eating, the man suddenly lunged at them. Boom, he caught one of the chickens. And the one who had suggested leaving the cage escaped just in time. But the other was captured. The man ran home with joy, and as soon as he reached his hut, he killed the chicken and prepared himself a good meal. Meanwhile, the remaining chickens were mourning and regretting their actions. The leader of the flock stood before them and said, "My people, stop weeping. Let this day become a lesson that will save many lives. Did you see what happened? Hunger, blinded wisdom, and desperation makes danger look like kindness. What looked like favor was nothing but bait. That man was not feeding us because he loved us. He fed us because he wanted to lure us. His kindness was with a price, and that price was death." And this exactly points directly to our lives. Many things will come to us, looking like opportunities, looking like open doors. Some will promise quick riches. Some will promise pleasure, and some will promise freedom. Some people will pretend to care for you, but behind their smiles are ropes and cages. Never allow your desperation to silence your discernment. Remember this forever. Not every open door was opened by God. And not every hand stretched toward you is a hand that wants to help you. Some hands stretch out only to pull you into slavery, destruction, and death. If you are hungry, it is better to endure hunger for a while than to satisfy yourself with something that will destroy you forever. Learn to think twice, learn to ask questions, and learn to be patient. Because many have been destroyed, not because they lacked opportunities, but because they could not tell the difference between provision and bait. May we never become so hungry that we mistake our enemy for our savior. And this will be the end of today's story time. I hope we learned something very important from today's story. Many people, driven by poverty and the desire for a better life, have pursued attractive opportunities without discernment, only to discover that what looked like opportunity and provision was actually bait. In the same way, many people today, desperate to escape poverty and become rich, are drawn to deceptive paths that promise quick success, but often lead to regret, bondage, and destruction. Don't forget to like this video. Share it so that others can see it. Share your thoughts in the comments section. Which line in this story touched you the most, and why? And don't forget to subscribe for more inspiring stories like this.